Hi Saraswati, how are you?
Hi, sir. I'm good, sir. How about you, sir?
I'm absolutely fine. Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yes, sir. My name is Saraswati. I have 1.3 years of experience in QA at manual testing and automation testing. I am using the mobile applications, and I have completed my engineering in 2021 with a stream of electronics and communication skill. And I have a skill set of Java, Selenium, and APM, and I have a framework. Good knowledge on framework like TestNG, Maven, and hybrid framework and BDD Cucumber. This is about myself, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity to introduce myself.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, can you tell us something about the framework in which you have worked?
Yes, sir. Framework I worked in current company, hybrid test data framework. This is one of the framework for using the mobile testing applications. So here we are using for the multiple applications for project, and we are using for different devices like using browser stock and emulators and real devices. So we are automating the applications, and in this framework we are using for PAM object model to store the web elements and methods for storing the all data in the page object model, and POM is helps to reduce the reusable codes. So, and in config properties, we are stored the config properties like package name, activity name, about device details, and exchange report we are using for or get the testing test report for how many test cases are passed, how many test cases are failed, and overall percentage of the test cases execution result. And for base class, we are using for store the all device details for capabilities for of the devices for browser stock and emulators and real devices. So this is helps to run this suite for the TestNG framework. It is helps to run the multiple test cases in at one shot, and we are using for base class for development. So what why we are using for this base class and base dev? Because of base dev, when we are developing the codes, we are running multiple times, so every time is not required to generate the report. That's the reason we are create a separate classes for the base dev class for running the particular test cases.
Mm.
This is the framework we are using in our application, sir.
Okay, great. So, can you tell me about the OOPS concepts that have been implemented in your framework?
Yes, sir. In OOPS concept, it having a five types of OOPS concept. First one is abstractions. Abstractions is nothing but the hiding the internal data and showing the functionality. For example, in POM page, we are adding the all functionality for registration, login, all these things. But in what we are doing in test runner, we are adding just for registration, step by step functionality.
Mm.
This for this we are using for high abstractions, and polymorphism is nothing but the showing the different ways. It having two types of polymorphism,
Mm.
uh, runtime and compile time. Runtime exceptions and compile time exceptions. And in Selenium, we are using for implicit wait and explicit wait for changing over loading the different parameters. For example, second, minutes, and hours we are using. So
Mm.
this kind of polymorphism we are using in our framework.
Mm.
And next thing is inheritance. Inheritance, we are storing the base classes for all details. We
Mm.
are extend the every classes in the main classes for running the particular test cases. And interface is nothing but the we are implementing the classes, and it's a is a relationship. So in our automation, driver equal to Chrome driver. Web
Mm.
driver is the web driver, Android driver, Firefox driver. These drivers are the in interfaces of in Selenium. So
Mm.
it helps to identify the particular element in the web page. So
Mm.
we are for this reason uh, we are using in our Selenium, sir.
Okay. Now we are using one action class in TestNG, right? So that is an
Yes,
example of overloading or overriding.
yes, sir. Best example for overloading
No, no,
is nothing
I'm
but
not. Yeah, I'm not asking you the example for overloading. I'm just asking you. We are using action class in TestNG, or we are using assert class also is there in TestNG. So that
yes,
is an
yes, sir.
example of overloading or method overriding.
Overloading, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. For action class and assertions are using for overloading.
Okay, okay. Now let's say we have get and navigate methods of different
Yes,
drivers
sir.
in Selenium. So are those examples of method overloading or method overriding?
These examples for overriding, sir. We are navigate the one browser to another browser or refresh the browser. So we
Mhm,
are override that for getting for particular element. We are override
mhm,
in the example, sir. This is
correct. For what purpose we are using find by annotation?
at find by annotation. We are using for it's a test engine. At find by annotations, we are using for framework to finding the particular element in the web page, sir.
Mhm. Is it
To store the web element.
uh,
To store the web element in page object model.
find by is an annotation? Okay. See, find by is actually an annotation. It will be used in, you are right, in page object model design pattern to
Yes,
identify the elements, right? Not to store the element, but it is to identify the element, right?
yes, sir.
So that is there. Hmm, okay. What do you know about Cypress?
Cypress and I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay, no worries. So in a real-time interview question, you might get some questions on difference between Cypress and Selenium, difference between Playwright and Selenium, because
Oh,
people, you have worked on Selenium, but there are other tools also available in the market which are being
yes, sir.
used, right? So they might ask you the comparison. So please be keep yourself updated to various kinds of tools, technologies available in the market, right? That would
Oh,
eventually
okay.
help you. Okay. You were mentioning at the time of introducing yourself that you are working on BDD, right? BDD
Yes,
frame.
sir.
Hmm.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is step definition and what is feature file?
Step definition and feature. In feature file, we are adding the scenarios step by
Hmm,
step. In
hmm,
scenario, what we are doing, adding, for example, in email, we are adding in scenario verification the login flow. In
hmm,
given, we are adding the URL and just we are entering the scenario steps. In step definition file, we are adding the for X path
hmm,
for particular element. For example, username and password.
hmm,
And find by element, we are adding the X path. In the step definition file, we are adding the all locators and functionality of the particular uh, element. And in the test runner, we are just calling that test definition file at run with Cucumber class or which test cases we are using.
hmm,
Call that in test runner and we are running the test case.
hmm, hmm. Okay. So let's say if I give you a scenario to develop an automation script for Facebook login page, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
can you tell me the keywords? What will you write in your feature file?
For login page URL, sir, first one.
Yeah, can
Given
you please
URL.
increase the volume of your mobile? It's a bit
Oh,
reduced. Yeah.
no, sir.
Still, it is less. Earlier, it was coming more. It was coming in proper. So, can you tell me how you will develop the feature file for this scenario? Facebook login.
Yes, sir. In feature file, we are scenario for the automating for login page. So launch the browser, Facebook browser, and given we are adding the URL of the Facebook, and in then we are adding the username and password after and we are adding the submit button. In feature in definition file, what we I will do. For launch the browser, I'm adding the XPath for the Chrome URL for Facebook URL. In given what I will give for username and password, and then we are tap the submit button for export
So,
of this particular
so username and
thing.
password you will give in the given.
Uh, given username, given I am given give the URL of the Facebook.
Yeah, given you will give the URL of the Facebook. Then in when what you will mention, in then what you will mention.
When I will mention username and password,
When you will mention username and
and
Mhm.
yes, when username and password, and then tap on submit button.
Mm. Okay. See, in when you can mention that you have to enter username and password, right? That too with
Yes,
a
sir.
data-driven approach with the parameters you can put. Then is the verification point. Then is the validation point. What you are trying
So
to
for
validate.
after, yes, sir. For verification means for submit button,
Mm.
if it is navigate dashboard, it's a verified, right, sir?
Right, right. So after clicking on submit button, you will verify
Yes, sir.
the next screen is coming or not. So that you will mention in the then, right? Because then,
Yes, sir.
hmm. So then, sorry, the then keyword will help you to ensure that you have landed on the proper screen, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that is one of the verification points. So then you will use. Okay. Have you
Okay.
used background keyword?
No, sir.
No. Okay. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. What is the significance? What is the use of background keyword in Cucumber? Okay. Okay. Now, Saraswati, I have one program. Okay. So you have
Okay.
joined from mobile, so you can tell me on a high level. The program
Okay.
is you have to find the duplicate characters in the string. So let's say string is
Yes.
your name, Saraswati, right?
Okay.
And you have to find duplicate characters. So S is
Uh,
duplicate, A is duplicate, right? So this
yes.
should be the output. So can you tell me the logic of this program?
Yes, sir. Here I will use for map function,
Hmm.
map collection. For in map, I am storing the character and integer. I will tell program how it will go. In map function, I store character and integer. Map equal to new hash map. So after that, in if what I will do, integer count equal to 1. After that, I want to string to character. I want to change. So here I will do character function str equal to string dot character array. After that, I will apply for loop. In for loop, integer int I equal to 0 and I is greater than array dot length and I plus plus. In if condition, ma, uh, map dot contains key ar of I and in bracket ar of if map dot um, map dot put condition I will apply for
Hmm.
array of I comma count. So uh, if it is working, it display the output. Else, map dot put ar of I array and comma map dot ar of I plus in out of bracket adding plus. This is a condition I will give. After that, I will give one more for loop for loop in for loop I will give characters equal to map dot key set. So after that in if condition uh, map dot key set greater than 1, which are the characters having more than 1, it
Hmm.
will print in the print statement. In print statement I will give system dot out of println
Hmm.
c. I am assigning character equal to c, so I will give c comma map dot get of c. So here what will happen output. So number of the what are characters are displayed and number of characters what are displayed. A equal to 3, s equal to 2. So
Hmm.
like that it will display the characters, duplicate characters.
Right. Okay. Okay. So basically you want to say that you will create a hash map of type with a
Yes,
combination of character and integer. Then you will traverse the string. You will check if the hash map already contains the traversed character or not, right? If it is present, you will increment the count or else insert the
Yes,
character
sir.
in the hash map with frequency equal to 1. If it is again
Yes.
present, then frequency will be 2, right? So again, you will traverse through the hash map for that, and you will look for the character with frequency more than 1. Then you will print the character with their respective frequencies, right? So
Yes.
this is how you can take one of the approaches using hash map, right?
Yes.
Now, yeah, in an interview, you might be asked without hash map. So then you can use for loop. You will have two for loops. One is the outer
Yes.
loop, which will count each character present in the string, right? Then you will have second for loop, right? And then you will have if condition. If a character is considered as duplicate and if count is also greater than 1. So accordingly, you will take that particular uh, character into the count. Okay, so this
Okay.
thing. Okay, now which are the different exceptions while doing automation, Selenium? Which are the different exceptions that you have countered and how have you overcome them?
Yes, sir. In exceptions, we are getting in automation no such element. When I am automating, if that element is not finding, no such element is exceptions we are getting, and null point exceptions. If I am facing in my when I'm automating the script, if I importing one package, but I'm not using that class, that time I am getting the null point exceptions.
Okay.
So no such element. Yes, sir. And timeout exceptions uh, I'm getting, and section ID is not created,
Mm,
404 not found. These type exceptions I'm getting for while automating, and the exceptions we are getting arithmetic exception, null point exceptions, and IO exceptions. Uh, and these type exceptions we are facing. I am facing for four types before I told that exceptions I am facing in my automation.
okay. Okay. Let's say you have to automate the application, the app which is a mobile based. So
Yes,
which is the framework that you are using and how will you automate it?
yes, sir. Hybrid framework. Already told hybrid framework we
Yeah.
are using.
Uh-huh.
So yes, for browser stack, emulators, and real devices we are using. So hybrid. So in browser stack we are using through uh, inspector to select the cloud-based priority and launch the in inspector to finding the XPath through that inspector. And for Android Studio we are using for the emulator testing, and real devices we are most of all time we are using real devices
Mm,
because of notifications and OTP verifications. Through that we have real devices for verification OTPs, the notifications. This it's a very drawback of the emulators.
correct.
That's the reason we are using real devices. In our framework, these details for package name capabilities are stored in our base class. And as I told, in config properties, we are using device details, adding which device we are using. You are adding the UDID number.
Mm-hmm.
Through UDID number, it helps to find out the device. It is suppose we are connecting multiple devices, so I want to this particular device only launch, that time we are using for particular device UDID number. That's the reason we are using for UDID. And we have in our exchange report we are using for uh, generate the report for the how many disks are passed and how many disks are failed. Overall the result percentage of the in percentage wise it is displayed, how
Mm,
many hours it is taking, and what are the steps I am using in that particular test cases. And it is helps to give the failure test cases screenshot. That's the reason we are using for extend report for the generating the report. And TestNG is support for the running the multiple test cases in
mm,
a suite. If in thousands of test cases, if some test cases are failed,
mm.
so TestNG support for run the failure test cases. We are using TestNG framework for this reason, and we are using Maven project. So in project, we are Maven project is helps to build the test cases
Mm,
and build the project, maintain and parallel executions, and Jenkins we are using to continuous and continuous deployment and continuous integrations.
mm.
This
Okay.
framework we are using in our application.
So you are using Jenkins. Okay. So any challenges that you have faced using Jenkins? Do you create a DevOps based pipelines or is
Yes.
are those created by
Uh,
uh,
yes. Here, what we will do for Jenkins, we are creating the new job.
mm,
So, in selecting the Git or local. So,
mm,
if I repository. So, if we are adding in description commands, it's a file path. After that, save the file and build the now. Once it will run, uh, we can schedule a time also. For in this time, it helps to run that same what we schedule time. It is automatically run the scripts.
okay. Yeah. So it will help you to trigger the scripts, trigger the automation.
Yes, sir.
But any failures or any challenges you have faced while running the script through Jenkins?
Yes, sir. I am facing that script for connecting the our test cases to Jenkins. Before only, while running, I'm not facing. Before connecting our test script to Jenkins, I am facing the issues. That time, I take help with my seniors.
So what I mean to say over here is let's say you have triggered, you have scheduled you have created a pipeline
Time.
which will schedule your test and they will run your test every day at let's say at 9:30 p.m. IST, right?
Yes, yes,
And then someday you came to know it didn't run. On the next day, when you did the root cause analysis, so you came to know, okay, this was the reason. And it was not because of your automation script issue, but there was a
yes, sir.
RCA
Uh,
method. It was because of Jenkins. So any such kind of issues you have faced.
Uh, Most of all, face for adding the path. In test script, for connecting command, we are at test path, we are adding in commands, right? It is that time I am facing the issues. For it is not connecting properly. So if
Which
my test cases,
uh,
yes,
yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, if my test cases is run properly run in our local, but while connecting through Jenkins issues we are getting, it is not an impactation of my code. There
Hmm.
is a connectivity issues
Hmm.
I am facing.
Connectivity issues. Okay, so let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. List down the challenges that you have faced while running the automation via Jenkins, right? So those are not the issues when you actually run the script in your local machines, but you face them when you actually deploy the scripts using Jenkins. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, Saraswati, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
it's done from my end, sir. Yeah, thanks to meet you, sir.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
I
So,
tried many times to connect you.
okay, great. So how did you came across our email address?
I searched multiple ways. First, I searched in Instagram. I'm not getting your email ID,
Oh.
and I am using for direct name. But may past 1 week only I'm sending, but I'm not saying that the email is not properly sent to you.
Okay.
Yesterday I got for checking something. I got to know its mail is not sending properly.
Hmm.
That's why today morning I sit and search your email properly in YouTube
Oh,
and multiple platform, and I get your proper mail ID and I send the request to you, sir.
yeah. Thank you so much, Saraswati. It was nice talking to you. And
Yes,
you have got good clarity on Selenium in the concepts of automation. And Java program was also good using hash map. But you have to be careful that they might ask you the different approaches of the same program. Let's say with hash map, without hash map, with for loop,
okay.
any other approach you have, like those kind of questions. Then please
Oh,
keep yourself updated with various tools and technologies like Cypress is there. So what is the difference between Cypress and Selenium, right? So I think apart from those two or three, then there are also times when you face issues with Jenkins, when you deploy something from Jenkins. So there are some issues that you will come to know, right? So you can work on those things. Rest all was good. Your knowledge is good, and you can start applying for various job openings, right? Don't worry about interviews. Your interview will surely get cleared, right? You will definitely clear the interviews, right? You have got good technical knowledge based on the number of experience that you have. It's good, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Saraswati. Let us know once you get a job, right? We'll be happy to
Yes,
share your
sure, sir.
success story. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Definitely, sir.
Saraswati. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Saraswati. Yeah. Thank you. And wish you all the best for your future.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.